So what we have here, some Tokyo, I guess, looks like a Tokyo. And I already was talking about this kind of view, perspective grids for such view in the previous tutorials. And today we'll show how to draw such crowded view. Yeah. So we can. So here it's this pattern. Like fish eye perspective structure. So it's like horizon line here is a circle. Then we have vertical lines. We'll have vanishing point in the center like this. And y-axis goes like a cross like this. And 45 angle like this. So then we take like x vanishing points. So it's like x on the left and x on the right. So like in a 5-point perspective, it will have this kind of curvature. So it's like within circle, all this behave like 5-point perspective. But outside circle, it goes like this. I try to make it symmetrical. Okay, like this. And like this. Whoops, what's this? So it's for x-axis, and for z, it will be like this. Z here and z here, two vanishing points. Same you see, so it's within circle, it's like 5-point perspective. Outside, so we have this like 6-point perspective grid. So this amazing thing, it's a perspective grid for this 360. So now we need to find it in a reference, right? So most obvious is y vanishing point. Then need to find z and x. So let's say this z. Yeah, so it's like vanishing point for z here. And second z. Check. Yeah, here. Kind of here. Let's see for x. X will be this line. So now we have vanishing points, then we can see where is horizon line. Because we remember this structure, these vanishing points, they are on a horizon line. Right? So let's see. X. here. Okay. Yeah, so camera here a little tilted. So like also in a previous tutorial I was showing this, like when camera tilted, we have like little distorted grid. So it might have just like curvature like this. But it's so minor sometimes. So here you see this like a circle, like I draw here. It's like this z-axis makes shape of circle. Let's bring back y, z, yeah, y axis. Okay, so it's kind of perspective grid behind this photograph, so you'll better understand what I'm drawing here. Так. So here's horizon line. So y vanishing point, and then this cross will do tilted like this. Так. Okay. So then here will be z vanishing point, this x vanishing point. So, and here again, like keep reminding this, but this is kind of very universal method how you draw perspective grids. It's just you need to know extremes. So here extreme, you see like from vanishing point, how axis goes. Here it's a straight line. Here it goes curve like this. So I need to draw like in between this, right? So it will be like transition from curve to straight. So here. And the kind of beauty of this method, this approach, is it's allow you to draw it freehand. Because like you don't need to be super accurate. You don't need to measure this. Just use your eye, just eyeball it, and it's well enough. Because after all, we draw it for viewers who using same eyes like we use. So nobody will take some kind of special ruler to measure every curvature. Just make sure it's close enough, it look realistic. So here you see it's very easy to draw all these buildings here, even the zebra. It's pretty kind of easy after all the stuff have been drawn before. So interesting thing is what to do with these people, right? So let's look closer. See, we have this crowd, and notice we'll look at these people on close to us. We'll look at them from above, right? It's a one thing, kind of. Second thing, actually, it should be obvious after you practice drawing measurements in perspective, like in my video, how to measure stuff in perspective, how to draw proportions in perspective. Here, what you should notice, look, it's distance between top of a head and horizon line, or kind of camera level, right? So you see how this distance goes to perspective, right? So it's this case, like, we have this simple rule or simple technique for drawing proportions in perspective. It's like if you have horizon line here, and then you have, like, let's say, here, okay, let's say, make it more clear. Like scale, this will be like 8. So this is scale of 8 head, and we have character who is like 6 head high. That's his head here. So what we can say, it's tell us that camera angle or this observer viewer eye level, it's on a 2 head higher than this guy. In this kind of ratio here, you see, so ratio is 2, 6. So total h of this eye level, so from ground to horizon line, is 8 heads. So if we know like how high is this guy, like he 1 meter 65, for example, right? So we can kind of find exact range in centimeters, like from eye level to ground. We can say exactly how high this camera or how high is viewer here. So, but for us, we can take like picture, and this guy is like average guy, and like where everybody here will be same kind of age. Somebody little higher, somebody little shorter. So we just drop this scale everywhere around. It's like 8 heads. All these 8 heads. So if I break it down into 8 parts, and I say, okay, so this 2 heads here, this 2 heads here, this 2 heads and etc. Or I just draw. So yeah, so you see, it's like can be all these people, 6 head tall people in perspective. So they have same ratio between their head, top of their head, and the ground. Yeah, top of their head and horizon line. So, or what I can do is just like I can select okay 1, 2, and I draw here somebody head, right? Because we're talking about heads. So yeah, so we have like these two heads below horizon line. So now I can draw this guy. So and I say this guy he's 6 head tall. I don't know what to give him. Like this. So this is how it works. Kind of very basic thing what you should learn in perspective, and I have video about this how to measure proportions in perspective. So what happened here, it's the same thing but with a curved horizon line. So here we have this guy head and we have horizon line somewhere here, and you can see like yeah, it's actually kind of like 2.5 heads by like 2.5 heads below horizon line. So we see how they all, yeah, let's go here, horizon line. So they all have same distance for horizon line. Kind of cool, hanging to horizon line. This again is example how every perspective, every complex subject, it's same basic principles, same essentials. So, and here knowing our grid, having these like guidelines, we can, um, like, let's say, if here I have this ratio, I can transfer it around, right? And so like, okay, it will be here, it can be here. So if I want, I can use guidelines, this axis, or like I show, I can just 2. So, okay, insert. It's a head here. Okay. Also, that no, yeah, maybe I will show you this also kind of interesting trick. So here also, if you look at their heads, it's a great example of cubes, like why you need to practice grand cubes. So it's like farther guy head look like it's so small. Look like this, closer to camera to look like this. And there's look far away, it's look almost like front, but not quite. It still have little, we can see little surface. Other plants kind of this. So you see, like with this angle, what we see on a reference, like closer to camera, and this how change rotation of people heads. Okay. Let's see. Let's make this a zebra. So here we have this y-axis, horizon line, and I can like do this hanging, kind of hanging heads. So let's say this guy. So, okay, here. So here also interesting kind of like gradient of a crowd. It's like have many people. It's kind of get so many people close to horizon line, and then they're like spreading like this. So let's make this crowd. Maybe we'll do like this. Так. Так. So kind of like organizing flow. I want them, they kind of like will walk from here to, I don't know, should be like from here to here. To, trying to make them walk in the same direction. Yeah. It's kind of next Escher level. So here to this X vanishing point, they walk away. It's kind of we see their backs. I want to make this kind of here they walk. And from this X vanishing point, they walk towards us. They're approaching. Так. And this from Z to Z, it's kind of their shoulder line. This. So here, 2, 3. Drawing people upside down in fisheye perspectives, like crazy stuff. Так. That's crazy. Так. Some drawing buildings is like relax meditation. Так. Yeah, definitely need to draw airplane in the sky. So clouds. Oh, this is so crazy. It feels illegal, to draw this stuff. So draw before it became forbidden. So you cannot draw crazy perspective like that. Only emperors and royal family, ancient blood elites can allow to draw this secret, insane perspective. Maybe right now aliens watching this YouTube and they say, finally humans are ready to become multi-planet species, to join our intergalaxy society. Of super advanced, enlightened living forms. The, the sit on their flying dish and making notes about how to draw fish eye in perspective. Say, hey, dude, look, these humans are nuts. What the hell are they doing? Так. So хочу here. Humans, we just discovered your perspective tutorials. Please rule us. Be our leaders. You're definitely most advanced life form on the universe. Or, like if there's like alien invasion, they're like swarming everywhere. They're like alien fighters, and they capture people into camps, and they choose a random guy. Like occasionally happen to be some dude making tutorials on YouTube about perspective. So they took him to their leader, UFO emperor something. Say like, hey, we took for you some random human from planet Earth. You can interrogate him about life on Earth and what they're doing. So this emperor asked, so what are you doing? So like a second, I have this. So he says, ask me
What do
this.
you do? I say what I mean, and I do what I say.
And I show him, I drew in fisheye perspective. He look at these grids and his brain, his head explodes. And after they say, okay, I guess this guy now our new leader. He is now new emperor of UFO civilization. So this is answer why you need to study perspective. If you ever will think like, what's the point of all this? Remember my words. It can be very useful. You never know. You never know how it may save your life or even entire human civilization. It's also, it kind of looks like three-dimensional fractal Möbius prison. No, it's also can be like very cool drawing for wall clock. Imagine here's like tick 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 tick. So I can say like I'm a clock artist. Nice. Yeah, yeah, draw in perspective. No matter what. This makes um, every subject make shine and became like it may became like some artifact in future museums. So look how amazingly he used his perspective knowledge drawing this guy. But it's like a weird choice of place, like drawing perspective in the toilet. Yes, artists, weird people. Or maybe your like art college is so overcrowded, so you have no other place to draw. Anyway, very stoic approach. Cool. Yeah. Hello. It's impressed. Thank you. Yeah, Adrian. Yeah. This is kind of like cool stuff. All this. It's like when you go to this depth of drawing, it really looks like some kind of magic. Just like for me, I have different definition. I think there is um, two different things, like very different. One is a magic, and other is what to call it, witchcraft, kind of, right? So magic is not about achieving something, like kind of like, oh, I want to make money by magic, or I want to create something for my benefit, kind of, right? No, magic is it's kind of understanding laws of our world. This kind of like deep underlying principles. So, and when you know them, you kind of can synchronize with them. You can uh, kind of follow these principles. So this is magic. You just became synchronized and more aware and kind of connected to this mechanic of our reality, kind of. So, like when you study like a narrative, for example, like all this story, it's so insane. It's so interesting. So, because like a story process of writing story, like storytelling, it's also kind of magic. And so like because it's constantly happen, we're constantly making stories, we're living in a story, like we're being authors and at the same time we're being characters in a story. Like it's crazy, it's kind of fractal. And same in visual art, there are lots so many interesting system underneath. And witchcraft is where the just kind of people who want some power. They're like very competitive. They want to prove someone something, or they want to revenge or do something weird. So it's kind of totally different. They are like not aligning with the universe. They trying to hack the universe. They trying to hack these nature laws for their benefit. Kind of like a trick god, you know. So I think there's nothing bad about magic, but witchcraft or this kind of stuff is just twisted. I mean, not speaking about like work it or not, it's another question. Just idea itself. Cool. Yeah, pleasure. Thank you for feedback. I'm glad to read this stuff. So here is a script. That's why also like helps just have previous experience of drawing people in different clothes from different angles. So it's kind of like what I can draw right now. It's based on what I drew before. If I draw like kind of like at least like for some extent similar pose, so I can kind of inject this pose in this perspective. So there's like all those folds, they just repeating again and again. So once you draw it, it's easier to draw similar pose or similar clothes. But yeah, let's pop. Let's draw headphones. So draw beard guy with a beard. was so interesting. Like how it's like at the same time there is dude with a t-shirt and shorts, and a girl with a raincoat and boots. It look like a boots. It's kind of Asia stuff. I don't know. At least before Asia, I never seen like people wearing comfortably so many clothes. Mm. On the summer. So make tree here. Tree is there. So all these elements I draw always need to think about rhythm, like how they're arranged. Because even like if you make it kind of mass or crowd, even this should be arranged, like I say, like some kind of gradient. It's like we have huge crowd here, and then it's kind of spreading. So there is still certain rhythm, certain pattern. You're not just on drawing stuff in the empty space. You arrange them together. And so also you can train it. You can get better and better with this with the time. So now what I'm doing, I'm trying to kind of connect this front with this far plan, with this very tiny people near horizon line. So here is horizon line, and people, they're very close, like about here. It is better to, if I do it as a page for comic book, I will do it in 2 days maybe. Because I will like more careful and gather some reference for closing. Maybe will take more time for arranging all this composition. But here we'll try to do it in a couple hours. Let's do this kind of challenge. Here. So as a drawing for a sketchbook, still will be very cool. So here I need to find how I will show this tiny people on a far away. It will be something just like this. So if here you can draw head, ear, arm, and all this stuff, here you can look like people, but here they don't look like people anymore. It became just a pattern. So you kind of make this transition of a detail level. Further it goes, less realistic it looks. It's just no more reason to try draw hair for him here. They became more just like two-dimensional textures or patterns. Kind of crowd heads. So here's like a certain distance, like here. I should stop treating people as figures and just draw them like if they made from three elements. It's like this element, and this element. Because they're together, they kind of start to creating this pattern, you see. So it's more important to make this kind of arrangement, this pattern of these three parts, than trying to draw like their fingers, and hands. So you see why I say this three element, because like when you draw overlapping, right? So you can do like this top and then find, okay, here will be this kind of, this simplification help you to arrange this rhythm, and it's also kind of like a pattern. You see we have triangles and we have this like twin, 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 can be here, can be here. So not just notice difference this and some more realistic detailed drawing with even with all these folds, hairs. That's why we need to study other artist works so we can learn how they like this kind of visual language of line art, kind of lines by ink. So if you look Moebius or some Japanese mangaka, you will see how they draw like a different distance, how they draw these different detalization levels. So there's like different look of facial features when they're very close and where they're on a middle plane, and when they're on a far plane, you know, let's say like this, like this, or close up view. Like make a more nuanced details, like for nostrils, some shading, can draw this like eyelashes. So you like make character design, for example, right? You can make this kind of examples of how a character look from different distance. Because here's like on a far distance, you want to have some recognizable elements. Maybe it's like silhouette of a head or this haircut, which make it look different from other characters. Oops. No. Noni. I hear some wind. here. So this is the top guy. This is it. No, so funny. So funny drawing. It's even crazier than Asher, that's for sure. So very cool gymnastic for your brain. Like what is happening? Like brain, leave the chat room. Так. Hello, WM10. Thank you. You should try. Yeah, definitely will do a couple more. You know, like, if me, like, I I don't think like I will need to draw something like this in my comic book. Maybe like once in a 1,000 page, just to make this kind of um, surprise spread. You open, it's like, what is this? But as a practice, it's really cool. Just, when you go so far in perspective, then when you go back to your like average fish eye perspective, it feels like a vacation. It's like, oh yeah, now it's so easy. So, at least for this reason, it works very well. Just move your plank so high, so your brain afterwards say like, finally some normal fish eye perspective without drawing people upside down. And also, like, you can draw murals. I draw already like a lot murals with acrylic markers. And when you can bend perspective like that, it just opens so much opportunities. You can draw so many wild stuff. And when it's big image on the wall, it's really crazy. It's very powerful. So now just being able just take some markers and draw it right on the wall without any sophisticated preparations. Yeah, you can just use some photographs for reference because you need to draw so much details. But you don't need like projector or like nets to just copy paste it. You just drawing like this freehand wild stuff. It's like you asking like how many years I've been practicing perspective. It's um, it's like there is big difference between just drawing something in perspective and study. Like when you are really learning perspective. So like to learn perspective, like if I will say about like how many time in total I dedicate to study perspective to improve my perspective. Don't know, maybe a year. But so I've been like many years, I've been just drawing stuff on a some level, which I already learned. So I keep just drawing on the same level for many years. And then I was thinking like, okay, I want to improve. I want to kind of next level perspective. So I start to research, look different tutorials, buy different books. So like Scott Robertson, I've been looking from 2013, but like I didn't study it like super throughout. Kind of, I still not practice it completely. It's like about half of a book because like you practice couple chapters and you can just like decide to spend more time practicing this stuff. You don't want to spend whole year only with a Scott Robertson book. Make sure you improve all chapters, or you can dedicate a like whole year practicing and study Scott Robertson. So anyways, like it's very subjective, and in my case, I've been when I focus on study perspective, I spend a lot of time to finding these clues, finding like tutorials, not like learning from them, but just kind of keep searching and discovering. There is not so much materials about fisheye perspective. Like I just find some like Amao. I find like Amao have some tutorials on Pinterest or like in DeviantArt, some drawings with fisheye perspective grids. So I did a lot of experiment, a lot of analysis, like just study reference. Like I showed yesterday, you just take reference and you try to find where is vanishing points, where is horizon line and stuff. So, and then now if, for example, you will learn from me, you will learn much faster than me because you don't need to gather a lot of different information like from very different places. You go to some art college or you go to me and your teacher, he already have all this uh, toolbox, all this library of different techniques, and you can learn them very fast. As well as kind of like this YouTube channel, I want to help other artists to find these solutions because this is really can take years just to formulate a question, because you never even like you might even don't know some terms in perspective or like you've seen some fisheye perspective and don't know how this thing called. So I don't know, sounds silly, but it really is. Sometimes people just like not have properly formulate question what they want to learn or what they want to find out. So that's why it might take so long time, not because it's hard by itself. Like right now, I make book about how to draw motorcycles, and like I'm artist. I'm not mechanic. I don't know much about motorcycles, so I spend so much time just studying this subject, just to learn what kind of details motorcycles have, what type of motorcycles, what type of engines, and all this stuff, which like for some experts might be like very common knowledge. For me, I need to figure it out without became mechanic. It's like I don't need to study like all these technical books when they teach you how to fix like certain issues with motorcycle, because there is no books which teach you how to understand motorcycle elements for artists. They only teach you like when you are a mechanic. And it's like, oh, it's so painful. It's like you go and you find, or you find nothing, or you find this like extremely overwhelming like manuals for motorcycle mechanics. So I spend a lot of time just to extract information, organize this information in a way it will be like useful for artists. So kind of like structural and visual. So then after this, like after I did all this like funneling, I did this filtering. Okay, I can teach some other people how to draw motorcycle much faster because they can skip all this process of searching like million of materials and um, making this analysis and comparison and filter, because like they're really like endless amount of motorcycle modifications. It's insane. So you need to become expert in types. So you can really say like, okay, there is certain groups, there how they're subdivided, then there is a characteristic which defines this motorcycle group and this motorcycle group, and there is different type of engine, and this how they work, and you need to research all this stuff. Same kind of with drawing, perspective, composition, all this stuff. It's a lot of nuances, a lot of um, way of kind of application of this stuff. So often it's like not just something general, but also about like how you want to use it. So what is your application? So then you need to be more specific, and then you will find the specific answer. So yeah, it's a lot of reasoning, a lot of work. Most people they just, or they don't have so much time, or they prefer to skip hard work and want to get this like quick solutions. And this is how we see difference between masters or between like top level artists, because these pro artists, they are digging, they know their subject, they can dig into details, they know like they know what they're doing like very well. And amateurs, they just like on the surface, like yeah. So it's like um you when you study, you also learn how to study more efficient. There's also another skill. So you keep improving in learning information. So like yeah, like with these motorcycles, like it's really helped me to don't just I became kind of smarter while making this book about motorcycles. That's why you know, like in a school or university, if it's good university, have all this essay or some stuff you need to write, which require a lot of meticulous research, and when you need like formulate your ideas, when you need to um, deliver it, like make give it certain form, right? So it's require a lot of analysis, and eventually you became like better person. You just like change your brain. So yeah, and in the core, I believe like in the beginning, like what make you able to get through this hard work is some kind of this drive of being like goal oriented. You know, now it's like culture right now. I see like say mainstream culture um for most of people, kind of, let's say. It's kind of feeling oriented. It's talking about like people like it's all about being happy and comfortable. So it's like find what makes you happy, or you find yourself, or understand like where is your place or what is your calling. All this kind of emotional orientation, I from my observation, it leads only people for depression and total kind of madness when they completely lost their mind. And when if you're goal oriented, it's like Miyazaki. What Miyazaki say in some interview, I will do it in next video. He say interviewer again from this more young generation, like she asked Miyazaki like, "Are you happy?" And Miyazaki is like, "What? Happy? Like I don't know. Like, is there anyone happy?" It's like, I don't know. It's like yeah, maybe like can be happy for a certain moment, but then again, I need to live my life, you know. So I was thinking about this, like, and then I finally realized it's kind of like a trap we're not aware of, you know, all this discourse about feelings and happiness. Who say you should strive for happiness? It's a bullshit. It's not something like engraved in a human psyche, like, oh, everybody want to be happy. No, it's a certain way to treat things. It's like Yeah, it doesn't mean like nobody want to be happy, but just when you formulate your kind of intent with that in that way, it's ridiculous because much more beneficial to be goal oriented. So it's not like you want to be happy and you do something because this will make you happy. No, you use your brain and you say like, oh, what will be better to do? And say this, this, and this. And you start to do it. You do it to achieve certain results. So you focus on efficiency, on creating something, on kind of like reaching certain destination. So sometimes you feel happy in a process, sometimes you're very not happy, but only this way your life start to make sense and you live like kind of fulfilled life, you know, when things kind of start to be connected and you also have this like strong feelings like when you really feel good. It's just like you not focus on a good, you focus on efficiency. Yeah. So yeah, so it's talking about this education, same stuff. You're keep trying, you keep learning how to be more efficient with the learning, which is also can be like element of it, how to be relaxed to certain extent, kind of like have this fun flow state. It's but it's not your goal because not always you feel relaxed and fun. Sometimes very like nervous. But when you think about it as certain parameter, which just allow you to produce more work, because it was like super overwhelming, like mundane and heavy process, you will not go far. It should be um, fluent to a certain extent. Yeah, yeah. Real talent is it's this drive inside you which make you to be persistent and curious. Not be happy with just kind of like animal animal joy, you know, like, oh, I eat, that's it. I don't need anything anymore in my life. No, talent is give you good feelings, but also it's punching you in the ass. Don't make you relax. No, I mean like don't make you to totally become like a coach potato. Because if you will try to make coach live as a coach potato, talent will make your life hell. So, here. Will bring nightmares to your life. You'll see like nightmares with like Miyazaki with a chainsaw running for you. Where's your manga, you lazy bastard? But he speaks Japanese, so you're not really sure what he's talking about. So you wake up and you go to psychologist, say like, doctor, I have these dreams with Miyazaki. He running with a chainsaw, screaming with some Japanese stuff. Yeah, and doctor will sell you pills. And then Miyazaki will just give up. Say, okay, this dude is hopeless. He chose wrong path, not a warrior artist path. He chose Coach Potato life. Go to all this industry, just selling people happiness by making them addict to sugar, to entertainment, addict to all this useless stuff. When talent is like invitation to become like master of the universe. So yeah, sometimes crazy hard. Like it helps to watch interviews with writers, with artists. Like I watch a lot of um how to say, it's not interviews, like stage speaking of Game of Thrones writer. I forget his name. It's just Game of Thrones writer. Very cool dude. So he say he say, yeah, like if you want to be writer, prepare for like stress. Prepare for like all the stress with a finding publisher, with a finding project. Also prepare to be alone. It's like every writers and screenwriters talking about this. So it's not for everyone. Some people will say like, oh, I just want to work in a team, in a some job. I don't need responsibility. So there will be some manager telling me what to do. And in the same time, like people have this funny idea about artists being like most happy, groovy peoples. Yeah, maybe it's like it's like a free life. You're free, but it's freedom like in a serious Rome. Remember, like there in the Rome, there's like slaves and the free people. And yeah, say like it's easier to be slave because it's a wild, cruel world outside there. And you constantly need to make decisions and you will suffer from your own decisions. Most people prefer to avoid this. They're just afraid of this kind of lifestyle. So you better will be comfortable as a you know, part of a machine when I don't need to think and take responsibility. An artist's free man, it's like a roller coaster. It's extreme, stuff scary, sometimes it's overwhelming, like you feel like you almost lost your mind. It's so stressful sometimes. And yeah, it's cool, of course, when you can find like team of like motivated professionals. Yes, I'm like a professional team. That's cool for sure. But still, can be challenging. Okay, so we'll leave it here, and yeah, after some time we'll see how to finish shading. Just want to spend some more time. Like my eyes need a little to rest, because to see how to finish some minor details. Okay, so thank you everybody for watching.